Hello, homies. Hello. Welcome to Easily Entertained. I am your host, your pop culture Sherpa, your glowing guardian of pop culture here to deliver you the latest and what the hell's going on this new year of 2024. You guys, we made it. Does that kind of sound like Kylie Jenner? I don't know. Don't be too mean to me, okay? Because it's a new year. And let me just say, like many people at the beginning of a new year, I have a great feeling about this year. Not to be a negative Nancy or anything like that, but I don't know. My trust issues really took off in the year 2020, much like everybody else in the human existence that could understand what was going on, so not special in that regard, but I'm just saying, especially as a Longhorn fan, in seasons past when fans would say, this is our year, Texas is back, we're back, baby, only for us to indeed not be back. I don't know, maybe I am a little superstitious, I don't know. Kind of enjoy being that way. I'm a little bit wooey in that sense, I suppose, and a few others as well, but I digress. This week, we have so much to catch up on, you guys. I really miss you all, and I miss talking to myself in this microphone, but I know I'm not talking to myself. I know this. So anyways, we're back, and this year there is so much planned. We are enhancing and upgrading our studio, and we're getting some guests up in here. So get ready for more entertainment, more chaotic ADHD type news, pop culture news, and, all that kind of shit. What do we have going on this week, you ask? I'll tell you. No gatekeeping here. This week, we're going to just catch up a little bit on the new year. Love to give a little 2 cents and a shout out to the Andys, Andy Cohen, Bravo, and Anderson Cooper, Andy Cooper, of CNN. They co-hosted New Year's Eve special again this year, and they were allowed to drink. And again, they brought nothing but pure joy. So we'll just dig into that. Some of the latest news already, the world is, we didn't take a second, you know what I'm saying? Like how most people, you've got those weeks between Christmas and New Year, what have you, where no one's really doing much. Like we're all kind of hibernating. We've all eaten a little bit too much, our tummies are full, and we're having a lot of time with our families and such, and just drinking a lot. I don't know. Is this projecting? Perhaps, but that's usually what happens. I'll tell you what, though, pop culture and just kind of the sheer audacity that human beings tend to display did not take a break. I'll tell you what. And of course, we cannot not talk about the Golden Globes that went down a few days ago, January 8th of 2024, and get you up to speed on what everybody is talking about, why they're talking about it, and just kind of give you my hot take on everything from Jo Koy's failed hosting monologue. You hate to see him do that. And of course, the drums that's going down between pop culture queens, really. Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Kylie Jenner, and Timothee Chalamet. Chalamet? I don't know. I'm no Frenchie. But anyways, and we'll talk about the winners and the losers and all that good shit. But our main meat, our main meal, our main entree, trying to focus on getting some more protein, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we consider it the protein of the meal. We're going to give out and talk about 2023 superlatives, yearbook style, kind of the best of 2023 when it comes to pop culture, from internet trends to music and movies and TV shows and celebrity couples and who got canceled and who was the most surprise cancellation, and as well as a comeback. We got them all, and I hope you will join me in this mess, and I cannot wait for more high quality video guesty interview eps that are on the horizon. But for today, I'm just glad it's you and me, honey. Let's get into it, shall we? The year started off quite well, and that is with the hosts, as I mentioned earlier, Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen. I really wanted to go Cohen with it. Had a very comical New Year's Eve special. So these two have hosted this particular Peacock version of the New Year's Eve special where they're in New York live, and they're prepping to watch the big fat ball drop. And apparently I learned that people that go to see the ball drop on New Year's Eve, they're out there for like anywhere from like 12 to 20 hours or something crazy like that. And so lots of people, when you're watching those shots, the little B-roll shots you get of the crowd cheering and having a grand old time, most of them are wearing adult diapers so they don't lose their spot. That factoid there just epitomizes groupthink, as one may say, just how people act in groups. And that's just totally normal. So anyways, next year, just think of that and think of me. Well, preferably don't think of me in adult diapers, but okay. So yeah, anywho, these two, Andy Cohen and Andy Anderson Cooper, have hosted a few years running now. But one year they took so many shots and like were so drunky that this is all live TV, that they like made fun of so many people and were like just really unhinged. And of course, everybody loves that. Like the crowd went wild. But then the following year, like the fun ruiners, the Debbie Downers, the people that be said, this year we're cutting back on alcohol and didn't allow them to drink. But you know what? They listened to the people this year, and literally they basically threw a campaign to allow themselves, the daddies, as they called themselves, to have a drinky. And you know what? I'm glad they did. It was entertaining. If you didn't watch it or see it afterwards or whatever, honestly, you can find so many good clips. So however you spent your New Year's Eve, I hope you had a delightful one, because some people that took a time travel flight, as it was advertised on United Airlines on New Year's Eve, were not having a great one, because they purposely bought this flight that was leaving January 1st from Guam, just based on, how the earth and time works, from Guam to Honolulu, arriving there on New Year's Eve so that they could technically celebrate New Year's Eve twice, which honestly is quite a flex. I mean, it'd be like fun to mention in a dinner party or a New Year's Eve party, to tell your friends and have something to say. But outside of that, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe most of these people had no idea that they were on this flight, and the marketing didn't work, but who knows? So basically that didn't work. They took off later and flights were delayed. So they did miss New Year's Eve. So careful what you advertise. But the airline industry is not doing so hot lately, as you probably have heard about. There was a terrifying, just straight from Shonda Rhimes, Christopher Nolan, just straight from a director's noggin of a terrifying airplane experience. There was an Alaska Airlines flight that was flying from Portland, Oregon to Ontario. I keep wanting to say Canada, but no, Ontario, California. And whose emergency door, just kind of the door plug just straight up blew out. The door just imploded and just flew out of the plane at 16,000 feet in the sky. And luckily, as many are pointing out, due to burnt toast theory, no one was sitting on the window seat of this aisle. So, and nobody was severely injured, and the pilot was able to land the plane really safely. But let's back it up and let's talk about the trauma of it all. Okay. So I guess I looked it up and it wasn't even maybe 10 minutes since they had taken off that this all went down. And the passengers that were on this flight said they heard this loud boom, and the door literally just popped off, flew off. People's phones and laptops and shit like got sucked out of the plane. There was a mom and a son that were sitting on this emergency row. And it was the pressure as the plane was losing a shitload of pressure now that it's been opened into the sky in midair. All of the masks come down from the ceiling like we're told all the time. And, we all ignore. But yeah, anyway, so it was so strong that it ripped this teenager, who's about 15 years old, ripped his shirt off his body and was sucked out. The mom grabbed him, I guess. And then flight attendants, people were able to grab the two, and they were reseated and obviously just terrified. I would be shaking. Oh my God. I can't even imagine it for too long. So bless these people. No one was hurt, and apparently it was somewhat of a calm landing and everyone was okay. And turns out, you want to know why, after investigation, these particular planes are Boeing planes, which, if you may recall, this is not Boeing's first, let's say, error of trial and errors with these planes. Although, hypothetically, planes should not be in trial. They're nothing like that. But regardless, it was basically due to a just human error because the bolts weren't screwed in tightly enough. United, all of these kinds of planes, they're 737-9 MAX or something. I could have totally messed that up. I just did my research, but I'm no plane guru for sure. It blows my mind. And the fact that it was due to bolts not being screwed on tight, like it's IKEA furniture, or it's some sort of, I don't know, you're putting together a picnic table, whatever. No, these are aeroplanes. That's terrifying. Also reminded me of the Southwest flight where that lady got sucked halfway out the plane. You remember that, guys? Yeah, ooh, scary. But you know what? To make us and myself feel better, the odds of you being on an airplane when something like that goes down, an emergency, or even less a life-threatening emergency or crash or accident or whatever, is super, super low. It's something like 1.12 out of 100,000. That's 100,000 plane hours, but 1 hour in that. So it's, that wasn't 2022 stat. So don't be scared. Only 8% of what you fear. Got this on the internet, so I don't know. Only 8% of what people worry about happening end up actually happening. So why waste your precious little brain worrying? This is 100% pot calling kettle black here. I am a professional when it comes to worrying. My sweet little old friend of mine. Just glad everyone's okay. Apparently, somebody's cell phone landed in someone's backyard, and it was an iPhone, and it was totally intact. In fact, it had half a charge and was pulled up to baggage claim. So that's pretty crazy. Who paid Steve Jobs from out of the grave? Anyways, sorry, that was going to take a turn that nobody wanted to go down. You know what we should talk about now, guys? I'll tell you. Golden Globes 2024. It's really set just pop culture, the internet, people ablaze. Normally, when it comes to awards, and particularly Golden Globes, it's not, all that exciting. Occasionally, like once every, I guess, however long we've been doing these things, we'll get a slap, Thank you, Will Smith, for really doing it for the plot for us all, because we learned way more than we ever wanted to about his marriage and how that related to it. Anyway, so I won't give it any more attention, but the Golden Globes sure got a lot of attention. This is way later than scheduled, but that's due to the strikes, the Hollywood strikes that went on for a large part of 2023. So a lot of these award shows are happening later than usual. And Golden Globes does both TV and movie awards. I had to basically make myself a little cheat sheet, because the award shows and when they happen, all that can be not easy to figure out, and nobody really gives a fuck anymore, right? So I'm kidding. But what people were really talking about was the host for this year's Golden Globes, which was comedian Jo Koy. Now, some of you might recognize him, but don't know where. Majority of you probably don't recognize him. So he is Chelsea Handler's ex. Yeah. One of the very few public relationships that Chelsea Handler, I feel like, has ever had. And, maybe he just had a little bit of butthurt boy syndrome, what I like to call, which is just butthurt boys who are rejected or just something doesn't work out, and they can't stand when their ex or a women, are doing well, the type. I don't know. It's like short man syndrome, just making up for things that biology or what have you did not gift them with. So I did us all a favor, and I watched the entirety of Jo Koy's opening monologue to the Golden Globes. And yeah, so basically what people are harping on is no one was really laughing at his jokes. The biggest thing was that he made this really lazy Barbie joke about boobies. He literally used the word boobies. You know what? Let's show, not tell. I'm going to play for you a little bit of what people are mostly talking about, so you can make a decision for yourself too.
Solution for 2024 is to finish Oppenheimer in 2025. Seriously, I'm almost there. I love Oppenheimer, especially the first season. That's so stupid. Oppenheimer answered a lifelong question that's been on my mind for years. Yes, scientists do get laid, as long as they look like Cillian Murphy. Oppenheimer and Barbie are competing for cinematic box office achievement. Oppenheimer is based on a 721-page Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Manhattan Project. And Barbie is on a plastic doll with big boobies. I watched Barbie. I loved it. I really did love it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm a creep, but it was kind of weird being attracted to a plastic doll. It's just something about your eyes, Ryan.
So, okay, that is quite a chunk out of his about 10-minute monologue, and it's so much to really digest there. Honestly, for me, okay, yeah, the boobie joke was just, it was lazy. It wasn't so much Matt Rife got canceled for his the opposite, misogynist jokes that, his entire stand-up special was basically just boys are better, women are crazy bitches, am I right, dudes? And it's not like that. Jo Koy, it just wasn't funny, There's some things oh, I get it, because Oppenheimer was long, makes that joke, and da-da-da-da. But he really just proved the entire premise of the Barbie movie in that one little jab. You know what I'm saying? Like using the word boobies too. And yeah, the crowd's not giving much, but the crowd is also like, we're at the Golden Globes. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Gervais, who hosted the Golden Globes for quite a few years, didn't get a great reaction from the crowd either. But what really got me, honestly, is his insistence that he says at one point, like, I didn't write all these jokes, okay? Like, they asked him, I guess, 10 days before, something crazy. He didn't have much time at all to prepare. And for that, like, okay, yeah, I get that. That's crazy. But you got the opportunity, okay? And then he insists, he like blames that all the bad jokes are by his writers. And like, we're laughing at his good jokes that he wrote. And it's just, for me, that's just an entertainer no-no. It's a big no-no. I'll play for you what he said.
Or what casting directors call character actor. Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. You're kidding me, right? Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. Look. Robert De Niro's here.
Poor Robert De Niro's like, why am I being thrown into this narrative? And, you know, you see Selena Gomez has her head in her hands. And so anyways, the audience was not having it. But then the way he berates the audience for like, what do you expect? Why aren't you laughing? I'm so funny. You know, because funny people really have to tell the audience that they're funny and they should be laughing and that they're idiots and what do you expect? So yeah, I mean, a lot of fans, people have come out to defend him and yada yada. And it's been, regardless, I think it's been good for his business because when I looked this up to play the clip, an ad for his book popped up and an ad for his next like live show in Austin came up. So I think he's going to be just fine. And the internet is fast. That is something, you know, I mean, we all know that, but it really showed that with when you have these award shows and stuff like that. So that's the Jo Koy of it all. I don't think he'll be back hosting the Grammys, but crazier things have happened, right? Like, who was our president? Sorry, we're not going there. What else are people talking about? So Taylor Swift was there, I think, as part of the Barbie movie. Selena, there was some like, somebody got a clip of them. They zoom in of basically Selena, Taylor, and this other girl, Kylie Teller, who's Miles Teller's wife, but regardless, doesn't really matter. The three of them very much in a typical girly gossip position. You know, they're leaned in. They're listening to the drama. And, of you know, who else but lip readers of the internet stepped in for us all and determined that they were saying that Selena comes up to tell them that Timothee Chalamet, she asked to take a photo with him, but Kylie Jenner, who is his now girlfriend, said no. And like their mouths drop open in horror and yada yada, and then sets the internet ablaze. And, you know, really the fact that too, but like media and people and you and me like really zoomed in on that too is just super ironic given like the Barbie movie and everything, what they're here for. Like, of course. Thanks, ladies. But I mean, if that really was the case, they all were basically put in an awkward position to just kind of lie to us all and tell us something else happened or whatever. Like, no one's going to be like, yeah, that's what we said. But if it is true, like, I think it's an insecure move to tell somebody no, they can't take a picture with your boyfriend who's like a really big actor there at the Golden Globes next to somebody else he's acted with. Like, relax. I don't know. They seemed pretty in love, Kylie Jenner and Timothee. That's kind of their first super public PDA, just kind of outing in a while. But in terms of the winners and losers, Oppenheimer took it all home, basically. As you may have heard in there somewhere, they basically created an award for Barbie called the Cinematic Box Office Achievement Award, which is new to this year. And basically is just because Barbie made such a fat stack of money. But yeah, in all honesty, it was the summer of Barbenheimer. The two we always knew were going to be pitted against each other. I mean, they obviously were in terms of opening weekend numbers and box office and all of that. But when it comes to the award shows, they kind of got hoed a little bit. I'm not going to lie, you guys. Barbie got kind of hoed. As Oppenheimer, which, mind you, I have not watched, and I know I need to, and I'm sure it's good. It's just, I don't know. Not really my cup of tea, if I'm being honest with you. Anywhoos, so Oppenheimer won the Best Motion Picture Drama. Also, Christopher Nolan won Best Director for Oppenheimer. What else do we got for Oppenheims? Best Supporting Actor with Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. And there was another one, I believe, for soundtrack or musical scoring, but they really took it home. Barbie got the Cinematic Box Office Made a Shitload of Money award. And one movie and actors involved in this movie really made a splash, and it's new. Came out either super late 2023. I think it had to come out in 23 in order for it to be considered. But Poor Things, which is in theaters now as we speak, actually, and that won Best Picture for Comedy or Musical. It won out against Barbie, and maybe that makes sense, I guess, if you're looking at it as maybe like this stylistic kind of lens, and who knows, sometimes the Golden Globes predict what Oscars or Emmys will come out of this, like those winners, but we'll see. So Poor Things won Best Picture for Musical or Comedy. And Emma Stone also won Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Outwinning Fantasia Barrino from The Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence from No Hard Feelings, which she is incredible and mouths to the camera, if I don't win, I'm leaving. And it was hilarious. Then Emma Stone won and she lost her mind clapping. And we love girls hurting girls. And outwinning against Natalie Portman in May, December, and Margot Robbie in Barbie. And Alma in Fallen Leaves, which I've never heard of in my life, but there's always one of those. May, December on Netflix is an interesting movie. I watched it not too long ago. It's basically centered around this real life story of a teacher, an ex-teacher, former teacher, Mary Kay Letourneau, who had if you want to call it this, an affair with her 7th grade student. Ew. Yeah. And then they go on to get married and have kids against like everything everyone's saying in like prison and the law and stuff like that until he's legal. Yeah, those are crazy. They don't actually show you anything like, it's not as disturbing as it could be. So that's good. It was interesting. Another movie that is out now that I have yet to see too, that took home some wins, is The Holdovers. I believe this is on Max or HBO Max or whatever we're calling it now. Paul Giamatti won Best Performance by an Actor for that movie. And same with Divine Joy Randolph, Best Supporting Actress. When it comes to TV series, Succession took home so many wins. They had the most nominations. Won Best TV Series in Drama against The Morning Show, The Last of Us, The Diplomat, The Crown, and 1923. The Best TV Series, Musical, or Comedy went to The Bear on FX/Hulu. Great choice, Jeremy Allen White. Everyone is talking about him for his incredible contribution to society with Calvin Klein. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Jeremy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably aren't attracted to men. So what else we got? Yeah, Succession, Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother, won Best Performance by an Actor for Succession. For Actress, Sarah Snook also took that home from Succession. Best Actress in a TV Series, Musical, or Comedy went to Ayo Edebiri from The Bear. Only Murders in the Building got some noms, no wins. Barry on HBO, all really good shows. And Beef took home Best Limited Series. We're back. So that's pretty much the wrap up of the Golden Globes today, which is Wednesday, January 10th. Happy birthday to one of my very besties, Caroline. Love you, HBD. It's also a good day because the SAG Awards came out, or the Screen Actors Guild Awards. So this is really just kicking off the whole award season of this year. And Screen Actors Guild kind of has very similar nominations for many of them. This is also both for TV series, and movies. Pretty much similar. Some new ones that I didn't really see Golden Globes and nominated or winning is Lessons in Chemistry for Brie Larson. This is in TV, movie, or limited series. Loved that show. I finished it rather recently. Uzo Aduba for Painkiller on Netflix, also really good. What I didn't see. And in that same, just to finish that part out, the same nomination is Kathryn Hahn in Tiny Beautiful Things, which looks very good. It's on Hulu. And it is after a book, like many things, and like Lessons in Chemistry. But, I mean, for the most part, lots of similar or familiar ones, like The Last of Us was nominated quite a few times. The Only Murders in the Building, Abbott Elementary, Ted Lasso, The Bear, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. You feel me. So we got more to go, and we'll see if it's about the same or maybe it'll be different. And now, my personal award season. We're doing the superlatives, the winners, the losers, the canceleds of 2023. Are you ready, everybody? Are you ready? First of all, I wanted to start off with best and worst viral slang. Oxford officially let us all know that the official 2023 word of the year is Riz. Yep, and that's pretty much an internet Gen Z word. So let me break it down. Riz, like think charisma but abbreviated, basically saying somebody is game. Like they got game, they got Riz, flirting with the girlies, the guys. Just picture Pete Davidson. He has mad Riz. I find it both maddening and chuckle-inducing that Oxford officially put this out in an article that this was the 2023 word of the year. That's something. That's something, I tell you, and that's pretty accurate for the general direction in which our society is heading. But my own personal. So I decided my favorite internet slang to come out of 23 is Minty B, an abbreviation for mental breakdown. Kind of like saying you're having a panty for panic attack. This comes from a gal who is diagnosed anxiety. So don't worry. Don't cancel me. I don't know. Just the word Minty B. Just saying it makes me giggle a little bit. It's just the unserious nature of it all and of Gen Z and really the world as it stands in 2023 and still now is just such peak comedy. Real, nobody's serious. The unserious behavior of everyone really makes me giggle. It's like nothing really shocks us anymore, Like people started saying that we saw that people in Miami Mall, there were these tall 10-foot, 8 to 10-foot aliens running around. And the way they described it, they just kind of appeared and were teleporting places and stuff, but weren't scared. And people were pow, pow, powing at it and stuff. Anyways, totally off the rails, but unclear of why the aliens would want to go to a mall in Miami. But I guess if they really wanted to get a good look at humans, I think that could be quite a good case study locale. So maybe it's pretty smart. I'm definitely not going to claim to be smarter than aliens. I don't know. I'm still convinced that it's not AI. It's going to be the aliens. So How did we get here? Right. Okay. The worst viral slang, internet slang of 23. I don't really like bussin'. I think of some girl who like tried to make bell pepper sandwiches or like a bell pepper grilled cheese a thing. It's like, no, just if you're going on a diet or you're trying to be healthy, just like don't make it grilled cheese. Just like eat the bell pepper, I guess, and make something else. I don't know. You'll probably still be hungry. Moving on to the next award, we have cutest couple. You know, it would honestly be dishonest, I feel like, not to go with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. For obvious reasons. I feel like they're like America's couple, you know? Really bringing together the, as Taylor said, the dads, Brads, and Chads at the NFL and, you know, Swifties and people alike. It's really been big for the world of pop culture, you know? Like that's definitely going to be a moment in time. But I would also give an honorable mention, you know, maybe even the same level. I would like to bestow cutest couple of 2023 to Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. Round of applause for them. They're cute as hell. I was actually just listening to a bunch of A$AP Rocky music in the car, and the number of bangers that historically he's put out is crazy. And obviously Rihanna has a absurd banger catalog. So sorry, don't need to make that happen. But they're just so cute. They had their first baby together this year, and I don't know, just I love them. I love them together. And we're all ready for the next Rihanna album. Best Dressed of 2023. This award goes out to Sophia Richie Grange and Hailey Bieber. I cheated again because I couldn't pick just one, but Sophia Richie Grange is, you guessed it, Lionel Richie's daughter and sisters with Nicole Richie. She's kind of just bloomed, I suppose. Just really skyrocketed into pop culture when she started making TikToks and stuff. And she's kind of what inspired the whole trend of quiet luxury, which basically was looking expensive and elegant and classy and all that kind of stuff. That came really into style in 2023. And then along with these really over descriptive terms that people are deciding, it's like, we're in our blueberry bubblegum light pink sky blue nail era. And it's just like a light blue. I don't know. It's exhausting. But of course, I also had to vote Hailey Bieber, who, per usual, just her style is impeccable. Mwah. Love it. You know, one thing to think about too is maybe we all love her style even more because Justin Bieber is standing right next to her in his like homeless psycho chic attire. I mean, like, I know apparently he has like a disease he's fighting, like a chronic disease, and that's really sad. And I hope he gets better. But like, I don't know. What are you wearing? You know what I'm saying? Just, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's crazy. Justin Bieber just wears, I don't know, looks like he got all his clothes off the side of the street that just like fall out of like trucks and stuff, you know? But I digress. We're moving on to the best album release of 2023. According to critics and the awards, SZA gets this award for her SOS album. There was not, and I repeat, not a single week in all of 2023 that she was not in the top charts. Not a single week. So that's pretty amazing. Again, year of the woman, the year of the boobies, Jo Koy. So I don't disagree with that at all. My personal favorites, if I were to give out awards, though, I mean, I'll eat up anything that's Fred again. Give me anything, I will nom, eat it. Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 was also incredible. I mean, very late 2023, but still epic. And you know what? Noah Kahan. I am maybe a little bit late to this, and it turns out so is like everyone else, because Noah Kahan is popping off. He's been around and he's been putting out music for a while. I don't know. The internet, everybody lifted him up, and now you too can pay like $200 to get a nosebleed seat to watch him. So that part sucks. But yeah, love it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Really got me in my feels. And I don't know. I feel like it's a good mixture of genres. Next, we have Best TV Show of 2023. Here are my gold, silver, and platinum? My first, second, and third place, okay? My third place goes to Yellow Jackets. This was Yellow Jackets Season 2 came out this year, or I guess this past year now, 2023. It's on Showtime. It's kind of hard to find a way to watch it, but you just have to watch it somehow through Showtime. It is so, so good. The acting is crazy. It's a thriller / just drama / think Lord of the Flies, but with a bunch of like high school girls. So basically, I think I've talked about it before, but a plane crash. Here we go again. A plane crash happens as a high school girls soccer team is on their way to play in a championship. And it's all about their survival, and a lot of crazy things go on out there. And you goes back between the time when they were in high school experiencing this tragedy back into current day times where they're adults now and dealing with stuff. And it's really good. Highly recommend. My second place goes to White Lotus on HBO Max, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, goes without saying. Cast, incredible. Plotline, incredible. Love the work. Love the work. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Highly recommend, and watch both seasons. But White Lotus is also confirmed to have the third season come out this year in 2024, and it is set in Thailand. So that's exciting. It's something to look forward to. And my number one goes to Beef on Netflix. I loved it. It was so different than a lot of shows I've seen. The way the plot was set up, and there's so much dramatic shit that goes down, and the acting is great. So I side with the critics on this one. Very good show. Definitely watch it. Next award, Best Movie Release of 2023. You know, for me, honestly, it goes to Barbie. It's pop culture, historical history in the making. I mean, from the plot itself to the cast of characters to the marketing, and kind of, at times, frustrating Barbieification of literally every brand everywhere. But that just kind of shows the powerhouse of a movie that it was. Next, I would love to do the most unexpected cancellations of the year. This one goes out to Lizzo and Jonah Hill. Were you aware that these two are canceled? I don't think either of them are like canceled forever, but I would be remiss to say that just felt like it came out of left field. As people say, that was not on my bingo card for 2023. This year, earlier, I believe in the summertime, 3 former backup dancers for Lizzo filed a lawsuit against her alleging sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. One dancer alleged that Lizzo shamed her for gaining weight, while another claimed the singer made her touch the breasts of a nude woman on stage at a strip club. Lizzo called the accusations in the lawsuit false and outrageous in a statement. In a filing in October, Lizzo's lawyers asked the court to throw out the dancer's claims, citing a statute against frivolous lawsuits. But the lawsuit has not yet reached a resolution. So, TBD on where that lands. And goes without saying that seems pretty crazy. Did not expect Lizzo to do somebody like that. And, of course, I mean, there are plenty of others that were canceled, but Jonah Hill's text with an ex where he was just showing, like, telling her to take photos down of her in a bikini surfing, even though she's a professional surfer, and, like, saying this, like, the woman I date wouldn't show themselves, and he just can't, just very, like, narcissistic, controlling behavior that nobody wanted to see out of Jonah Hill. You know, he's supposed to be unproblematic and came out with a Netflix special with his own therapist. I suppose now looking back, which seems maybe like a red flag. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this documentary. I learned a lot, you know, of psychology and shit like that. And this year's 2023 most bizarre new way to die goes to the Titan submersible passengers. Yeah. I mean, we can't, like, that's crazy. That was by far one of the craziest stories of the year. I mean, obviously, rest in peace and really sad that this psycho took them down to see a tragic sight where tons of people lost their lives in another tiny, untested submarine guided by an Xbox controller, whatever the fuck. What? You know? And they apparently knew for a while that they probably didn't make it, and then they spent all this money to go find them. And then there was like an article that came out that they heard like tapping. Just terrifying. So, you know, in all of the schemes of things, the way to go in their particular circumstance, I think they took, hopefully it wasn't terrible. But yeah, couldn't pass that up. And the same kind of morbid theme we're going with here now for this next few craziest true crime news has to go out to the Gilgo Beach serial killer. There was a mysterious serial killer that had remained uncaught, undetected for years after finding victims along the like New York coastline. And this guy was discovered, and he was this totally normal looking 50-year-old white dude who worked in Manhattan Beach and was like rich and has a wife and kids and crazy. Again, with all of this, as these awards, you know, kind of briefly skirting through, you may know some of these moments, you may not, but let me know if any of these in particular topics or stories, backstories, what have you, interest you, that you would like a deep dive episode on, because I will be doing that as well. The best true crime or just regular documentary, although both of them are kind of true crime, is number one. This was also a late 2023 piece of pop culture. It is called Love Has Won on HBO, about a cult led by a woman who calls herself, and they called her Mother God. And basically her own following ends up kind of murdering her, and they watch her slowly kill herself. But it's by far one of the best documentaries I had ever seen. Everything about it was just so absurd. There will most definitely be an episode all over this. It is bonkers. And then followed by the Murdoch Murders docuseries in Netflix. Simply because it's another crazy story that I have kept up with for quite a while now. And really gives I feel like a legit covering of everything. I listened to a podcast called the Murdoch Murders podcast with Maddy McClain, and there's something like, hundreds of episodes, and I listened to them all. So yeah, really invested in that one. Next, we're going to jump on over to something a little bit more chill, but not. Best reality TV scandal. Woo-wee. This was a year for reality TV, largely in part because of the Hollywood strikes. There were a lot more reality TV productions pushed forward and shit like that to cover and make up from lost time too, back from COVID. So lots going on this year, lots to watch. This has got to go to Scandival as a real loyal Vanderpump Rules fan. This was crazy when it went down. At this point, I think we're all sick and tired of talking about it. But like, when it comes to awards, they got to take one, you know? cheating on your 10-year going partner you live with together with one of her best friends, like, while you all are starring in a reality TV show and try and get away with that is bonkers. As for the most wild card, unexpected celeb couples, this one goes out to Ariana Grande and that random guy who played SpongeBob in like a live action version of it, who was married at the time when they met on the set of this musical that Ariana Grande and this guy were doing. And then just she breaks them up and now they're dating, and he's like this tiny little redhead guy who played SpongeBob. Just sad. Like, yeah, his wife and kids, and he just said bye, and this is not not a good look. Came out of left field. Interesting. I would say we have a few others, though. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny. Didn't see that one coming. They may be broken up right now. They may not be. We'll keep you posted. And then very recently, I would say Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco came out of nowhere. Benny Blanco is the producer of quite a few Hollywood, very, very famous musicians, including Justin Bieber, interestingly enough. My MVP of 2023 goes to Susie's Pesto. If you're confused and you hear chirps in your brain, this is a TikTok trend that just never stopped, but honestly never stopped. I think maybe I've stopped seeing things on my For You page recently, but in 2023, it was great. It was basically a trend that took over because a delightful young lady named Susie, made a video of her making homemade pesto, and she says, "Call me crazy, but I don't like store-bought pesto." And she goes on to make pesto. And people thought that was fucking hilarious because it's not that crazy. And so people would just go on to say, "Oh, Susie," sarcastically, "that's crazy," and then tell their own crazy stories and just really set up for some solid story time. And I love that coming together of the world in such a way. And honorable mention kind of this year is Gypsy Rose making that PR rounds. I mean, Lifetime is the one who swooped in and got her interviews while she was still in prison and then got let out. A quick rundown: Gypsy Rose suffered Munchausen by proxy, which just means her mom convinced herself, convinced Gypsy, convinced everybody around them, doctors, this and that, you name it, that she was severely ill. She couldn't walk, and she got taking all this medication she didn't need, surgeries and teeth removed and crazy shit, until Gypsy realized she wasn't, sick as her mom said, and hired this guy who was her boyfriend at the time to murder her mother. Yeah. And so I feel so many different ways that she's like being like revered and like this influencer personality now. Like, it's kind of odd. Like, I saw it coming and it's very entertaining, don't get me wrong, but like she did also murder somebody, but like, I don't know, she said herself she probably would have died, and she's encouraging she's telling people murder is bad. So I guess what more can you ask for these days, And keep an eye out for who's most likely to be canceled in 2024 with these Jeffrey Epstein documents being released. Everyone's denying they knew him and all that shit, but who knows? I don't know. I just feel like this is a year of things being uncovered. Ooh, conspiracy. Don't worry, I'm not wearing a foil hat. I, however, am very grateful for this last year. Very grateful for you. Easily Entertained, I hope, has done just that, and I feel like it has. I can't wait for all that's more in store. And be in the lookout for updates on our Instagram at Easily Entertained Pod. Follow. I guess you can follow on Facebook too, because I have one of those. And on TikTok at Maddy is Easily Entertained. I'm going to be posting some more stuff. More content. Keep you entertained all year long. All right. Love you. Bye.